What do you do with people that just want to talk about the problem?
You tell them to stop, shut up, let's tap on it, let's move on.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Well, I have a good friend of mine.
Yeah. See, again, some people have been in enough therapy, they like bragging about their stuff.
Yeah, or they've developed a whole identity about.
Oh, absolutely.
Or,
That's, by the way,
I want you to join with them in the anger.
by the way, when they tell you this story, they want you to play with it, and they're also reaffirming it over, and they're building a whole life story about this, and they're repeating it over and over and over again. So you go in and start, you stop them. You have to figure out how they are and how they think and operate, because, especially if they had a lot of therapy.
I want to ask a question because Dan made me think of something. I was working with a girl last week, and something was a 1 at the beginning, and it turned into a 10 because it related to a different problem when she started playing her movie. So that might be another reason to kind of wait and let things calm down, because something that might seem, well, like she'd had a car wreck when she was 13 and hit a car, did $1,100 for the damage. The guy's father was a judge and sued her for $13,000. I asked her how it felt. She ended up, I don't know what the deal was. She said it was a 1. I said, okay. Well, then later on, she starts thinking about her finances being bad, going through a divorce and everything, and I asked her, when did it start? She went right back to the car wreck. Boom, it went from a 1 to a 10.
Yeah, and she may have associated the second time, not the first time.
Exactly.
And she may not have made the connections. So that's why you always test, retest, put them in the state, pull them back out, and try to create it.
What's your opinion of 12-step programs, and how can they be used with this?
Well, the 12-step program started out to be a pretty good program at first. Spiritual. Again, there's a lot of belief involved with it. I believe that it needs to be revamped, improved for sure. I think this tapping process can make it better. I don't know. I mean, again, the model of thinking is right, and I heard that. What happens is usually they switch from one addiction to another and never address the problem. Part of the 12 steps is about trying to mend the inner part of your heart, trying to mend those hurt memories, trying to make peace with those. That's where the key to creating changes. By the way, that's what we're talking about, isn't it? Creating peace with that system. Now, there are parts that I don't agree with. I'm an alcoholic, I'll always be an alcoholic. I'm a foodaholic, I'll always be a foodaholic. I'm a drug addict, I'll always be a drug addict. I don't believe that to be true, because it creates identity.
I just truly believe it keeps you attached to the problem,
Right.
instead of going beyond it.
Right.
It's also sort of a force of will.
Well, it may be a force of will, but again, most systems, now guys, that system that they're talking about is this exact same system here. You see it? It's exactly the same system. Now, the biggest problem that you're going to find, even with yourself, is going right here inside you. This is where the biggest problem is. It's easier to blame the ego, the sin, all these other things, and live with your problem. Again, living with your problem goes right back here to this memory. I don't want to let go of this memory. This is who I am. I built my whole life around. This is my father. I love my father. And they think if you let go of this pain of this memory, you will lose your identity. And that is absolutely not true. You'll still be you, but you'll be a happier you. That's where the problem is. It doesn't matter what system you go to. Unless you, and Jesus is correct when he said, the problems are inside you. Making peace with your inner self.
Well, I think people who have worked the 12 steps have a leg up on this because they're already familiar with self-inventory, and there's a lot of that in this.
Yeah.
You've got to go back in the past.
Well, again, not understanding why you have the problem doesn't fix it. But see, you can do the 12-step program and have this badge and brag about all your, pardon the pun, shit, and still say, this is who I am. Now, the original, I believe the original was to address that stuff and make peace with it. Release its charge. You could take this system and make the 12-step more effective and more powerful. But you will find that they will buck the system. Because this system is saying, you need to let go of that, what your father did to you, and your mother did to you, and whoever else. So, this is who I am. They gave me a good reason to drink. Now it gives me a good reason to keep coming to the meetings every week. So.
Well, this
Yeah.
system gives us the ability to clear away the wreckage of the past on an internal level, not just an external level.
Not just logical, internal shifts.
One thing they do right, Robert,
Well, that doesn't mean that they can't get changes. You realize that. There are people who do not stay in the program. It's just like church. Church is a great place to be born. It's not a good place to die.
Well, one thing they do that also traditional therapy does, it gives them an environment to speak honestly about what's going on inside of them. In other words, when you have someone come to you, you want them to try to reveal as much as possible. I have had roommates that are alcoholics that one had been in AA for 25 years, and I've been around a lot of people that have been in AA. One thing they are good about is sort of the self-honesty, which is the first step that you would need to really be able to work on someone. So they do have, like you said, the inventory. They have that laid out. They're not afraid that they don't feel so much shame that they can't get it because they've had a group of people they can share that with. And so I think that's
right.
so they have a support group is what I'm saying that allow them to do their self-investment.
Well,
No, I don't think. No, I've known an awful lot of dry drunks. My friends that they're still as angry as hell. No, I'm not saying you don't go through the next step. I'm saying one thing they do bring to you, if you're dealing with, is that they have done a lot of inventory. They'll tell you all the things they've done and bad. So then you have a lot of stuff to work with.
yeah. Guys, don't even try to worry about the money. When I did this, I didn't worry about the money. Don't even try to make your living off of it. Make your passion out of it. When you make your passion out of it, it's going to pay you off. It'll start coming in. I mean, I didn't start with this to make money. I started because I wanted to heal my life and fix my wife. She was screwed up.
We understand why.
Robert, I just, yesterday, I went to the mall with my sister and two of her friends, and I have been telling my sister about this, and we've been doing, a few things, and it's been very helpful, and I did some things with her, and it really was incredible. It seemed, she really seemed to make some changes, and, when you rate it from 10 downward, we saw her go down on some emotional issues, but we were getting ready to go shopping, and she was like, Becky, I don't have the money to go shopping, and I said, oh, there's going to be all kinds of bargains, and she said, let's tap on that. Let's tap on finding bargains. So we did. And I've got to tell you, there were 4 of us that went shopping. She's the only one that found a awesome St. Patrick's Day shirt for 97 cents. She found a perfect little black party dress for $6.99. It had been like $50, and it fit her perfectly, and a pair of shoes for $2 that went perfectly with the dress. And then while we were there, and she was laughing about and telling her friends, what we had done, and one of the girls was like, well, my feet really, really hurt. And I said, okay, 0 to 10, how bad do they hurt? And she said, at least a 12. And I said, okay, and I just did one quick little deal with her. And she was like, oh, my God, what in the world? She said, I swear. So I believe that it really works if people are just open to it. And so just make it fun if you want to share it with someone.
Yeah, I agree.